Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, friends. Today I'm going to give you my take on what's going to happen next week. We're going to do a quick recap of what happened in the previous week as well. So as you can see, the first day of the week, the previous week was tentative as we waited economic data. And you can see that out here, if we were to look into QQQ, or even for that matter, if we just get into NASDAQ and look at NASDAQ and you just go into a one-day calendar and look at what's happening out here. So here we see we are on the 12th, which was the beginning of the week. Everything was tepid. The market was very cautious and range bound, and we were waiting for a lot of economic data to come in. And then economic data did come in on Tuesday. And on Tuesday you can see that we got the PPI month-over-month data, which came in at 0.1% as against a consensus of 0.2% and a previous reading of 0.2%. This first data point supports a weaker inflation outcome, and that kind of made the market feel good. And the core PPI month-over-month came in at around 0%, and this was against a consensus of 0.2%. and a previous reading of 0.2%. So this reinforced the positive feeling and supported weaker inflation outcome. And then we had the core PPI year over year that came in at 2.4% as against the consensus of 2.7% and a previous reading of 3%. So this firmly puts the inflation fears to rest. And this is what we felt at the end of Wednesday. And by Wednesday, the market was already high, as you can see out here. So this was Monday, and then we went into Tuesday, we went up, and then we were in Wednesday out here. And Wednesday, you can see that we gained over what was happening on Tuesday. So overall, it was positive. And then we were looking for some more stimulus to come in. On Friday, we got the retail month-over-month data, while core inflation and inflation rate, they were not that resounding, but when you look at the retail sales, you can see that it came in at 1%, way more than the consensus of 0.3% and a forecast of 0.2% and a previous reading of minus 0.2%. What this meant was that recession fears were going away, soft landing becomes much better, and inflation fears were also still under control starting from Tuesday onwards based on the economic data. And all of this led the markets to start going up and end higher on Friday as compared to the beginning of the week. So we gained a good deal of traction during the week. So if I was to look at the range that we had gained, I think I could say that we gained around 5.83% during the week. And in my books, I think it's a successful week to have. And then we have to look forward to the next week. And in the next week, I think that we have a bunch of Fed speak that is going to happen. And then those could either be catalysts or they could be a bit of a damper, whatever you might expect the Fed to do based on the data that they are looking at. So Monday we'll have Fed Waller speech at around 9:15 a.m. And Tuesday we'll see speech by Fed Bostic at 1:35 p.m. followed by Fed Barr at 2:45 p.m. And Wednesday at 2 p.m. Everyone will be looking for clues to confirm rate cuts in September as we start getting the FOMC minutes. And that's going to be another big catalyst in my opinion, because some people are expecting 2 rate cuts in September, and some people are cuts of 50 basis points. Some are expecting a 25 basis point cut. So that will become much more clearer when we look at the FOMC minutes and the distribution. So that's something that I would say that will definitely be a catalyst for the market. And Thursday we'll see the initial jobless claims released, and that will happen at around 8:30 a.m. before the market opens. The consensus expectation is for 225K, and the continuing jobless claims will follow that. And the week will be capped off with a speech from Fed Chair Powell, and Fed Chair Powell will express his thoughts, and then there'll be questions from our press. And that could also lead to some more insights into how the Fed is thinking about the rate cuts. And those things will inform the market. All these events can be positive or negative catalysts, and without the benefit of knowing what those catalysts will be, I am still going to look ahead with the assumption that all data will be favorable catalysts based on the readouts received so far. So looking ahead, right now the Nasdaq futures seem to be positive. Because there is a reading of 0.28%. I'm recording this at around 7:23 p.m. on the 18th of August. And you can see we are up 53.50 points. And that looks good to me. And now next I would like to go and have a look at QQQ. So here we are looking at QQQ. And we can see that QQQ has been on a bull channel. If you look at this green line that has been coming from before, we are doing pretty well as far as QQQ is concerned. We had a cup and handle pattern, and we had a target price for QQQ at 493. We have met and exceeded it, and now we are on our way back. Now, when I look at the formation that we have here right now, I'm just going to magnify this for you. And this is a 4-hour chart, so I'm going to convert that into 1-day chart. So each of these candles is a 1-day candle, and we crossed a resistance of 474.19, which has now become a support for us. And at this point of time, I think QQQ looks really good. I do not see anything that's going to stop QQQ until we reach a resistance of around 487.20, because the momentum is also pretty good, though it is flat. MACD is also bullish, moving away from the signal line. It's looking good to me. We have good data from the last week, and we are looking forward positively. And I would say that there are a few possibilities that could happen. We could probably go up here, hit this, and then come down, retest this support, and then go up. So this is one possibility. And the other possibility could be that we continue to go down, and then we hit this resistance, this support out here, which is at 449.21. And then we go up, and at that time this will be a resistance. So this is one possibility that we have. At this point of time, I'm looking at this positively, mainly because of the fact that we have broken this lower highs, and we have got new higher highs out here and higher lows. So we are in a bull channel. So I'm more in favor of looking at us testing this resistance out here at 487.20. That said, if you look at S&P 500, you will see that we are similarly very strong on S&P 500. Again, I am looking at the resistance here, which is going to happen somewhere around, I would say 565.29, because this is the peak that it had gone before it turned around. So I'll put that as a resistance. And we have a little bit of a gap up, which I don't like generally, because we tend to come back to fill the gap. So I'm thinking that S&P should continue to move upwards, and then we will probably fill this gap when we come back after touching this resistance out here. And then when we come back, we'll take the support out here, which is at 540.10, and then move back up again. So that's the way I'm looking at the progression, because momentum is pretty good. MACD is also very bullish. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And to support all of this, I can see that VIX is very weak. Momentum is below average. MACD is moving away from the signal line, very bearish. And we are below 20. We are at 14.81. So this makes me feel good that the market is going to be moving in the right direction for us when we restart on Monday. So that's what I have with regard to the overall market. Next, I'm looking at Google. Google seems to be having a resistance. This is a diagonal line of resistance, which has multiple touch points. So I'm thinking that tomorrow for Google, it's going to be important to continue having the support here of of 164.49, which is following us from quite a while. And we are already above that. And then it has to test this diagonal line of resistance at 166.26, and it has to break through above it. Right now, Google is 164 is at 164.74. We can see that the momentum is below average, but it is spiking upwards, which is a good thing. And also MACD is ready to cross over the signal line. So I am thinking that tomorrow Google is going to break through this, and it will also become one more of the MAG 6 or MAG 7 shares, which has broken out from its lower highs and has gone into era of higher highs and higher lows. Because we have a series of higher lows out here, we want to start creating higher highs. That's what I'm looking forward to for Google on Monday. And then we have Tesla out here. Tesla has got a diagonal line of resistance, which is going to challenge it. And it has got a lot of resistance that has been noted from earlier price action. So all of those are to be taken care of. Momentum is just at average and flat, and MACD is just about ready to cross over the signal line. And then we have Apple, which is very bullish, and I have seen some analysts say that after continuous bull action out here, Apple is going to drop. But I think I have a different opinion. We know that Warren Buffett had sold a whole lot of Apple shares, and there was another big buyer who bought a whole lot of Apple shares. So all those things had been happening, and that could have probably created this gap down post earnings. And earnings came in on the 1st of August. And if you look at this particular candle out here, the drop candle was on 1st of August. And then we had a gap down. And now we are in the recovery process. So I don't think there is anything wrong with Apple as such. So I expect it to continue going up, especially because momentum is above average and moving in the right direction. MACD is also bullish, moving away from the signal line. So I'm calling that on Monday, Apple will continue to go up. Then we have Meta, which has formed an evening star pattern, in my opinion, which is a bearish indication. Momentum is above average, that is positive, but it's moving in the wrong direction. It's going downwards, so it needs to turn around. And MACD is also moving towards the signal line to cross over the bearish side. So I would be watching Meta carefully and see what happens out there. And then we have Amazon, which has got a very range-bound trading that happened on Friday, and it's a indecision candle. It's a doji candle, but we have MACD, which is bullish, whereas the momentum is just about average and flat. So Amazon will have to decide where it goes tomorrow. And given that the consumer confidence looks strong, I think Amazon should definitely pick up. Then we have Microsoft, which is facing very strong resistance at 421.08. And it will have to navigate this 421.08, taking the support of the 20-day exponential, which is at 418.00. 418.42. So we ended the day on Friday at 418.47. So we need to continue having the support of the 20-day exponential moving average and break through the horizontal resistance at 421.08. And will we be able to do that? I think intrinsically Microsoft is a great company, and it's also a big player in AI. And I think it should have the enough fuel in its tanks to do that. Momentum is just below average, but MACD is bullish. So I'm calling for Microsoft to move up on Monday. AMD is up 0.81. AMD is doing a very strong recovery, and it remains to reason that industry would not like to have a single source for all its GPUs. So AMD should also get a fair shake, and AMD seems to be right now much better than Intel overall. And its MACD is also bullish. Momentum is above average and moving in the right direction. I'm calling for AMD to gain strength in the following week. But it's also got to face tremendous resistance out here from the 200-day exponential moving average and the 50-day exponential moving average, which are trying to merge together. And if we continue our positive trend, we'll see a lot of golden crosses happening, the 9-day crossing over the 20-day, and that will be a building block for us to go forward. And then we have Palantir, which is going on strength to strength, and it's coming to be in an overbought situation. MACD is very bullish, so I think there should be some consolidation for Palantir. And then we have FNGU. I'm expecting FNGU to cross 420 maybe by the end of day on Monday or at the open on Tuesday, because all systems look go for FNGU. And then, of course, before we close up, I want to look at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is in this kind of a wedge pattern out here. And I think it needs to break out on the upside because it's on a bullish channel. So that's what I am expecting for NVIDIA. And that expectation is supported by the fact that momentum is above average and picking up. And also MACD is very bullish and moving away from the signal line. And I personally feel that a lot of capex is still going on, and NVIDIA is doing very well. And whatever weakness we had, it was because of the fear that there was some delays in parts of Blackwell production and delivery. And right now it seems that those fears are not there anymore. So we are going to see a smart rebound on NVIDIA, especially with earnings approaching. But I suspect that it could be a case of buy the rumor and sell the news. So I would try to dispose of my NVIDIA just before the earnings, at least half of my NVIDIA just before the earnings. That is my plan. And of course, I also have exposure to NVIDIA through FNGU, which I'll continue to hold and see how things happen going forward. So friends, that's what I have with regard to AI. Now let's take a quick look at genomics. And in genomics, I'm going to look at PACB. I do not see any new pattern. I have made a video in this talking about swing trading opportunities. I think that is still on play. You can check out that video and decide what you want to do with that idea. And then we have Editas, which is again looking weak on the charts. Prime is also looking weak on the charts. Both MACD and momentum are looking weak. Caribou Biosciences has got the momentum, which is just above average, but it's very flat at this point of time. So we need to have some positive catalyst for this stock to move up further. MACD is not supporting that kind of a move right now. And Intelia is also looking weak on the charts overall. Verve is looking weak on the charts. But Verve could probably bounce back because, as they say, there's a dead cat bounce possibility for Verve. And then we have Illumina, which is gathering strength on strength. Now this diagonal line of resistance, which was there on the cone before, is now going to become a line of support. And we are now marching upwards. So I'd like to draw some new lines of resistance. And I'll do that in the next session before I present to you. I am thinking that Illumina is going to open positive on Monday and going to go up further, because momentum is above average and still moving up. MACD is moving away from the signal line and going up further. So Illumina is looking good to me. Allogen is weak on the charts. Iowa is pretty strong on the charts, but the momentum is dropping a little bit, and we have a gap fill to be done out here. So I'm thinking that probably Iowa might probably consolidate or move down on Monday. Then we have mRNA, which is looking weak on the charts again. Maybe a dead cat bounce might be in order for mRNA. Beam is also looking weak on the charts. ARCG is also looking pretty good, I think I would say, because momentum is above average and moving up, and MACD is turned bullish. And overall, if there is a good economic calendar in the preceding week and the current week also seems to look good, I think that should help ARCG to pick up. CRISPR Therapeutics is looking weak on the charts, and we have DNA, which is also a penny stock right now, so I'm not going to talk much about it. We have a reverse split coming up. So 40 stocks are going to be merged into one. So this is the expected problem, and typically when these kind of reverse split happens, the share price falls further. So Ginkgo Bioworks, I think, is in a very bad position. Altimmune is looking pretty good in the charts. Momentum is above average and rising sharply. MACD is also bullish. So I'm voting for Altimmune to improve next week, open up positive on Monday. IMTX is looking weak on the charts. We have Grail, which is again looking pretty decent on the charts because momentum is picking up. But at the same time, I would prefer that MACD was crossing over the signal line in a positive manner. That has not yet happened, but it's on the way to it. So I have invested in Grail. I was thinking that we are going to break out on the upside, so I'm rooting for Grail. My purchase price is around 17.45 or something like that. Then of course we have got Bluebird, which is looking extremely weak in the charts, but a dead cat bounce is possible based on the momentum support that we have out here. So friends, that brings me to an end of my commentary for the past week and the following week for both the markets, AI as well as genomics. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.